I needed to change how I look at women, and probably so do you. Every man reaches a point where they have to look at how they interact with women. They have to look at how they think of women and what they think of their relationships with women. See, for a long time, I thought relationships were like a scale, like a balance sheet. You know, you do this for me and I do that for you. And I think that's how many people see it as. That's why it's the whole, what do you bring to the table? It's like, oh, I am the table. No, but what do you bring? It becomes a measuring contest, a competition. And it's one of those things that makes you think that people believe love can be quantified into an actual measure, into an actual value. And I think that's the point, that in this generation, we have to stop and start to think, what do we think love is? What do we think a relationship is? What do we think the interaction with women or with women's interaction with men, what do we think that is? How can we quantify that? Or can we quantify it? Should we want to quantify it? And these are just a few of the topics we're going to be speaking about today. So let's get into it. I started to think that relationships were like a scale. So I put what I am worth on one side and you put what you're worth on the other, and hopefully they balance out. So it became a tick for tack. It became, you do this for me, now I'll do that for you. And that's not really how things work. Because all of a sudden, when I met someone and let's say I was putting in energy and they didn't put the same energy back, I felt wronged. But it wasn't the wrong of knowing, you know what, I deserve better. It was the wrong of thinking, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing that? I'm doing it for you. Why aren't you? It became like a angry wrong rather than just accepting they're just not interested. Because it was starting to feel like they owed me something, and I felt cheated out of something that was never even mine in the first place. But in truth, it was just an insecurity. A fear of being done wrong, a fear of being done dirty that just masked itself as logic. And that logic made sense because it was such a shallow way of looking at the world, such a shallow way of looking at relationships. And truth is, that was because my idea of a relationship with a woman, or my idea of interactions with a woman, was just so shallow that that's what we just bottle it down to. What are you doing for me? What am I doing for you? And it's so much deeper than that. At the end of the day, it starts with loving yourself. I know, cringy, but changing how you look at women does not start with women, ironically. It starts with how you look at yourself. Because the truth is, for a lot of us, it's not that we like someone, we just attach ourselves to them. We attach whether it's our worth to them. They make you feel like a man, so you do certain things for them. You attach that value to them. And that's not how it's meant to be. That's why when they suddenly don't do something, your value you're expecting to get back goes out the window. You're thinking, whoa, hold on a minute there. And that's because you're looking for validation. You're looking for reassurance. You're looking for proof that you are enough. And that's where the problem is. Because it's not fair to expect that from somebody who probably just met you. From someone who just met you, it's not fair to expect that person to be able to validate your whole existence. That validation has to come from yourself. You're hearing me? Me from 5 years ago, are you hearing me? The validation has to come from you. It's not going to be from them. It's not going to be from them. It's going to be from you. Because when you love yourself, you don't need someone to complete you. You want to share a life with somebody, not have them be your life. Not have them create your life. Am I making sense? I think I'm making sense. When I think about love and how to love yourself, I always think back to love your neighbor as you love yourself. See, you have to love yourself first. So that love for yourself has to pour out of you, and then you can give that to other people. Because if you love others first and expect the validation to come from them first, it's never going to fill the hole in yourself. Nowadays, it's all about, what am I getting out of this? Look, when you actually have that value in yourself, it's not about what you're getting. That's not what's important. What's important is how aligned are you with this person? Because you know what you're worth. You know what values you stand on. You know what things you're not going to compromise on. Now that you love yourself, you've identified that. You know that. Now, if you meet somebody who doesn't perhaps align with you in those values, you know you're not going to waste your energy chasing. You know you're not going to waste your energy, your money, your time, your heart. You're not going to waste any of that on someone who doesn't align with those values. That's how we're meant to be doing it. We can't get angry at every single girl who has unrealistic standards. That doesn't mean all women have it. It means that's her standard. That's what she wants to do with her life. And does she align with you? That's the question. The answer is no. So what do? You don't waste your energy going after her. That's where it is. Because some of us, it's like we have a mission to prove by going after women we know who do not align with anything we want, and then we're angry when they don't align. It doesn't make sense. So what I had to learn is I have to have my own standards. I have to have my own things that I hold dear. And because I have those standards for myself, I can know how to operate. So when I meet someone who doesn't operate at those standards that I want to operate at, I don't bother myself with chasing after them. I don't get that anger that, oh, how dare you demand that? No, it's like, okay, cool, that's what you want. That's not what I'm giving. So we can go our separate ways and we keep it stepping. Your standards can be anything. It doesn't have to be financial. It can be how you're treated. It can be how you're addressed. It can be how in times of conflict, how you communicate with each other. It could be some people's replies. I'm a big replier. Look, don't ignore me. Don't air me. If that's what you're on, ignoring me, then that's okay. We're not aligned. I'll keep it stepping. You see how different that is to you've been aired and now you're sending 10 more messages like, oh, how dare you, how dare you, how dare you. Come on, let's be real. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. And when your standards are not met, especially when you've already explained them, you don't have to beg. You don't have to argue. You simply just state the fact. Hey, this is what we agreed to. This is what I thought we aligned in. You didn't uphold your end of the bargain, and you made that clear. And if the person is willing to change, then they're willing to change. But if they're not willing to change, listen, walk away. I'm gonna say that again. Walk away. It's not worth fighting over that. So I need you to stop comparing yourself to the world. There are some people who would do incredibly expensive things for women. And that's cool. If that's you, that's you. If that's not you, then I need you to understand that you don't need to do that. That's one thing, you don't need to match that. Because I remember when I was younger, we'd be seeing guys doing this for their girl. And you just used to think, oh, like, is that what I have to do too? No, that's not what you have to do too. How you and your girl celebrate each other or how you and your partner celebrate each other is up to you. You don't have to try to reach any standards the world is setting. It's you. It's your relationship. And when you find someone who sees it like that, the same way you see it, that's when you say, I found someone who's aligned with me. And when you're aligned, when you become aligned, you start to look at other things happening. You start to realize, oh, wow, a lot of this is unnecessary. A lot of this is meaningless. A lot of this doesn't mean anything. And when you have that peace, you suddenly start to realize that all this time I've been looking at women so differently. I've been looking at my interactions with women in a way that only brings me stress and trepidation, in a way that makes me actually start to think, I don't like the modern woman. And then you start to believe every girl or every woman is like that, especially when that's all you consume with your content. Another thing to be careful of. You start to think every woman is like the woman in this clip who's saying, I need a man to at least earn 150,000 and he has to be 6'4" at a minimum. Not every woman is like that. Not every woman is like that. The same way not every guy thinks like you. And that's one of the things you have to realize, that they're people. They are people too. They are good women. They are bad women. They are good men. They are bad men. You just have to find a good one or find one that aligns with you. It's your choice. It's your life. You pick. Changing how you look at women is about changing how you look at yourself. When you have that love for yourself, that respect for yourself, that means you know what you value and you know what standards you want to live by. And then if you meet someone who aligns with those standards, that's what you pursue. You don't pursue just anything. Don't waste your energy. So if what I've said resonated with you, I just want you to know that you're not alone. Internal growth, development, all this stuff it's a journey. So as I've been going on the journey, I'm sharing it with you. And, feel free to share back whatever you want to share in the comments. Let's see where your journey is taking you. I see where mine's taking me. And hopefully I'll see you along the road. JK speaks. Come back next week. We'll discuss some other topics. I really don't know how to end this.